Good evening. First of all, I just want to make clear that Hillchas Tahara, which we are going to open the discussion today, is a Riche Me'eres Midde. It's a big subject, it's a long subject, a heavy subject. There's a lot of all kind of shilas involves in it, and it's impossible to go through the whole Hillchas Niddah even in a couple of weeks. It's impossible. This is a learning which you have to learn a long time. But I'm going to concentrate basically on halachos, which is negeya, lemaisa, not all entangled details, more or less which is negeya, we should know what you need to do. And whenever comes up any question in any shala, is always kedai to ask her off. And Baruch Hashem, today's day, once upon a time, was a little bit harder. The Rabbonim didn't have that much of gedilt, patience, didn't have that much of, Today's day, most of the Rabbonim go through training. Training means, from the congregants, from the oilam. Yeah, they have a lot of patience, and that's a normal thing you should keep on asking. Whatever there is a question, ask. Don't think you burden thereof. Ask and ask and ask. That's their duties, and that's what they need to do. And there's a lot of things which people are ashamed to ask, or they think it's not kedai to ask, and there'll be machmar. There's no such thing. Every question which you have, you ask a rov. I want to begin the first thing over here like this. The Medrsh says in Medrsh Yirashirim, the Shmuel bar Yitzchak says there's a pasuk in Yirashirim which says Taltalim shchoires ka'oiraif. Taltali means basically what is it called? Long hair which is curled, Curls are dark like a oirav. The oirav like
Raven.
Like a raven. Okay. Zoekt of dem dort in Chazal. This is the halachas of Torah which looks dark. That means it's not appropriate, it's not proper to talk in the public on this inyanam. And the Rebbeinu Shloilem has a gewaltige geschmack when you talk this inyanam in public. There's no such thing as a parsha in the Torah which you cannot talk in public. So therefore, on this Medrash basically is based the whole thing that you have to give shirim in the Chestara, in the Chesnida. And the Medrash says, how do we see that the Rebbeinu Shalom likes it? Because there's Parshas Zov and Parshas Zuva, which is basically one applies to male and one applies to female, which most of the halachas are the same, and the Rebbeinu Shalom, the Torah divides it into parshas, because the Rebbeinu Shalom wants you should kochzach in the Yonam Torah, even it's in this in Yonam. So that means even in this in Yonam, which people think is not appropriate to talk in public, which once upon a time there was such a concept. Baruch Hashem, today's day, somebody told me lately, I don't remember whom, that years ago, 40 years ago, he was in one Zikramites and said Raphael that there's I'm going to a shir at night in a chesnid. He says, what? There's shir in a chesnid in public? By that time was a very far-fetched Indian that should do. But Baruch Hashem, today's day, Chazal asked that you should talk about it because there's a lot of complicated halachos. And that's why you have to talk it. It's not there's no Indian to be ashamed. And when you talk and you learn this in Yonam, that itself is as gilan not to become. You should have a problem. There's a famous story. One of the Talmidim of the Neiser of Sachchov, he was a Rav in a city, and he asked his Rebbe some kind of bracha that he shouldn't Chaz Shulam have any hard shalas in Chas Pesach. So the Sachchov, the Neiser told him, there's one eitzah to it. There's one method. Learn through Gittel Chas Pesach, you're not going to have shalas. Why? He says, because there are some masechtas which go to the Rebbeinu Shalom and cries, Rebbeinu Shalom, nobody learns me. Kodeshim, or all kind of masechtas which people don't learn. So the Rebbeinu Shalom says, they don't learn it to you? Don't worry, I'm going to take care of it. Nobody learns Hilchas Treifas today's day? It gives you a problem which you had a couple of years ago in Hilchas Treifas, and all the Rebbeinu and all the Ingelait and Kodigna have to start learning. So the look for his student, if you don't want to get hard shalas and Hilchas Pesach, which they can give a lot of ernst to shalas, so therefore learn through Hilchas Pesach before Pesach. Then the Masechta won't cry to the Rebbeinu Shalom. There will be no problem. So therefore, if you learn Hilchas Niddah, if you can learn it chazerit, so Baruch Hashem, there will be only mashoyle. Okay, so I want to begin like this. There's a Pischet Shiva in the beginning of Hilchas Nida, which the Pischet Shiva brings down a Radvas, which is a very important halukha. The Radvas says like this: Ein lachadish chumras al klal Yisrael, v'halavai sheyishmeri mash mitlulav. Don't burden klal Yisrael with all kind of chimras. Today's day there's a thrill that if you hear a chimra by anybody, somebody else, everybody has to take that chimra. If you want kehillah, there's one chimra, they enforce it on everybody. Somebody has a nice chimra, a nice inyan, he goes the next morning in the shiur and says, you have to do that. Why you have to do that? Because I found an Epsa Sefer that if you say 6 times Shira Shirim, when you blow, when you drink it on one feet, then that's a zgila for everything. Come on, you do your zgilas. The same thing goes with chimras. There's no inyan to be machmar klal Yisrael. There's no inyan to say, you know what? Hilchas Nida, in Yuna Kuras, in Yuna Chmirim, I'm going to be machmar. There's no such thing. You don't machmar. But by Moshe, the Debrecen Ruf writes in the Sefer, although we don't pass like the Ratvas, but we have to rub it in to people that there's no such a thing as, you know what, some people have a shaila and they're embarrassed to go to the Rov. So they say, you know what, let's machmar. Let's start over again. They have a Mara or you have a Bedika. Let's be machmar. There's no such thing. There's no right. You should be machmar on yourself, and you be machmar on your wife. And the same goes vice versa. A lady has no right to be machmar on herself. No, forget it. We'll start again. It's on her cheshma. It's the cheshma of her husband. It's not right. You have to ask. In the Rabbonim today's day, Baruch Hashem, there's a lot of solutions to a lot of problems, of physical problems too. So therefore, it's kedai not to be machmar at this in Yonam. What we need to be machmar. So therefore, you have any question, pick up the phone, drive to the roof, and ask. Okay, so let's begin with a hagdoma kluli on inyan of nida, and then we're going to come more to the details. Mina Torah, when does a lady become a nida? When she sees a drop of blood, when she feels when it comes out. Only b'hargusha. That's called hargusha. Hargusha means when a lady is love a lady, a girl, there's no difference between a girl and a lady. A baby of 1 day old, if she sees a drop of blood coming out from ba'oisa mukam, she's a nida the rest of her life till she goes into tefillah. That's a baby of 1 day, a girl, a lady. There's no such a thing. Any drop of blood, a tiny drop as big as a chardal like a kernel of a mustard, which is very tiny, it is also minda haraisa if there is a hargosha. Even though if it's dried, it's not a blood which is lach, it's dried, it's also osur. And in somebody, Rahman Lastan, habu ala a girl or on a lady, which is a nida, is chayv kuras. But menatoira is there is only a iser do'eraisa when it is bahargosha. When you feel when the blood comes out. I'm going to just come to it what it means hargosha. That's menatoira. Once it comes out, you're tuma. That's even if a tiny drop, as I mentioned. That's the same will go if you take a bedika, you make a bedika. And on the badika there's a tiny drop of blood, it is a sufag akapunim daraisa. It's a daraisa, chshash daraisa. Or if there's no reason, if there's no chilik, if it comes out because she made exercise and that's why she saw it, or she she got scared from a mice, or she got into an accident and she had to break the last minute, or whatever it should be. Reflexology, all these kind of things could make a lady should see a tiny drop of blood. She is osir menatoira. There's no different what if it's a oinus. As long as it came out from ba'oisa mukam, it is osir. Sometimes people have fibroids. All these things, tiny drop makes you anida daraisa. But has to be bahargusha. If it's not bahargusha, that means it came out and you didn't feel anything, which we're going to come in a minute, what is hargusha? Then it's also midarabonan. There's no different if it's midaraisa midrabanan. There's no different. There's not even one halacha which there's a different if it's daraisa midrabanan. You have to wait 5. You have to go 7 shiva nikiyam. You have to go to tefillah. You have to make a bracha on the tefillah. Everything is the same. There's no difference. The only difference will be if it's a drabonan, lagaba chashushas, lagaba ksumim, then you use that. It's only a drabonan. But basically, most of the time, riba kekila. If it's not a kesem, it will be osir mida rabonan. But it's the same thing. There's no difference la halacha. When a lady sees blood, even though it's not her time when she have to get a period, even though it's 15 minutes after tefillah, same thing. She becomes toma. There's no different when, what, and where. She may be pregnant. She may be nursing. She could be 90-year-old lady. If she sees a tiny drop of blood, she becomes a toma. Nida daraisa. It's no different. You have to have very clear these things once you see it. Chashoshes vest, then you have a different, if it's meberes, menekas, pregnancy, after postmenopause. But if you see a tiny drop of blood, basically you're a nida daraisa. Is again, what did we say? If you feel, it will be osir min hatoira. If it comes out for sure from your body and you didn't feel anything, it will be osir midrabonan. Then there's a third thing which is called a kesem. A kesem means you find on your baguette, on your underwear, on your nightgown, on your bed, on a towel, whatever it should be, you find a tiny drop of blood. That over there, it's as a suffolk. Maybe it comes from the lady, maybe it comes from her, and maybe it is my alma, maybe from some other place, which I don't know. So over there's halachas, which we are going to get into this halachas in Yirtzeh Hashem. Most of the halachas and this nikita will be next week, next shiur. That's called ksumim. And over there's a chilik, how big it is. If it's big, if it's bigger than a gris, which a gris, let me overall, I'm not going to go into it now, but it's a little bit tinier than a dime. So then, if it's bigger than that, you might have a problem. If it's less than that, it's osir. It's okay. Or if you find it on a thing which is not makabel tima, or it's a colored baguette. In kesem, you go into all kind of halachas which you could be. There's halachas you could be Michael when, if it, according to what Chazal say, but that's only because it's a suffolk. If it comes from ma'alma or it comes from the lady, could be somewhere else. Not necessarily it comes from the lady. So therefore, she could be Michael according to halachas, which we're going to talk more in length next year. So let's make it clear. If a lady sees blood and she feels, she's also min hatoira. If she sees blood and she doesn't feel, but it's for sure from her body, for sure, that means she sees it coming out, or some kind of a badekas, you could see it, but you didn't feel it, then it's also midrabona, and there's no difference between the rabona and midaraisa. If it is a kesem, that means we don't know if it's 100% sure it is from her, then we have the halachas of Hilchas Kesem, which we're going to talk next time.
Isn't there a possibility of makah?
There's a possibility of makah, but that will be.
I'm saying it's not automatic that just because she sees it on her body, coming out of her body, that it's necessarily done niddah.
Okay, that's right. If it could be that she has a makah, but then you have to check it out if there's a makah, and you have to know where the makah is, because not all over a makah you're Michael. You know, if you have a makah b'makar, you're not going to be a Michael. So therefore, then we could deal with it. But usually when a lady sees that it comes out from her body and she didn't feel, then it's only midrabanan. What? If you found it on a badika cloth, it's a daraisa, because then is the chashash we mentioned before. If then is a chashash, there's 3 ways how it's a daraisa. One thing will be if you felt it, which we're going to talk in a minute. What does it mean you feel when it comes out? The second will be if you take a bedika and you check yourself. That's as if you felt it, because it's a suffolk daraisa, but we take it out except like it's a daraisa. Why? Because we might say you felt, but you didn't realize you feel it because once you put in the bedika, sometimes you get distracted, or sometimes you don't feel. You think it's only the cloth, and it's a hargosha, so therefore it's still a daraisa. And this is the two things which it's a daraisa. Yet, what is it a hargosha? What is it a hargosha? We keep on saying, if she feels, she feels, she feels. Hargosha, we have three hargoshas, which we have, two is clear cut, third one is a machlokas achronim. One hargosha means nizdazu gifa, her body shakes. Nizdazu gifa means the whole body gets vibration, but a heavy vibration. But that happens when she gets the period, on the time when she gets the period. I'm not talking about most of our ladies have feelings before the period is coming that she's going to get the period. Most of. Some not, but most of the ladies will have some kind of feeling 24 hours before, 12 hours before, sometimes even two days before. That's not considered a hargusha. Let's make it clear. That's not considered a hargusha. We have this shaila, this feeling in a different thing, which is called the vest hagif, which we may be going to come in the end of this year or the beginning of the next year. But akapurim, that's something else. Hargosha means b'shaz when the makar opens himself, your whole body shakes. That's one hargosha. The second hargosha means psiches pi makar. If you feel the makar opens himself, that is considered also a hargosha. What is it psiches pi makar? Is first of all, what is the rechem of a lady? How is it? It's considered compiled of three parts, which is called the chazal, the rechem, the pia rechem, and the tzavra rechem. In our language, it's the uterus, the cervix. That's the second part, and the other part is the vagina. Now, when we say psiches pia makar, means the rechem itself opens himself up. It opens in order to give out blood. This is the second hargosha, which is clear cut in alla paskam, and is da gifa psiches pia makar. The third thing is, which is called zivas duverlach. She feels a wetness coming out from her body. Now, we are not talking she feels outside some kind of wetness, because this is a lady constantly feels, there's all kind of mucus coming out, all kind of liquids. I'm not talking about outside. Inside, in the makar, not in the makar, do ook da machloikas. The Noidibida says, even when it's outside of the, that means even if it's in the cervix, or even in the vagina, if you feel over there, zivas duvalach, that means some kind of fluid, it will be a hargusha. In the Alter Rebbe goes with this Noidi Behida. And some poskim say, no, it has to be feeling inside, which I don't know exactly what it means. If you could feel what looks like there's such a thing, that means that the uterus has to feel something is coming out. So we have three hargoshas. The first two is clear cut. That means Nizdaza Iveram, which the Chassam Sofer puts also another thing which is important to say, akitza. Akitza means when a person, let's say, needs a bathroom and he doesn't go, and then he finds a toilet, he's driving and he finds a bathroom, and when it opens up, there's a burn. So Chassam Sofer says some ladies have this kind of feeling that when it comes out, as the blood starts coming out of the uterus, there's a burn, like when a person needs to go in the toilet after he wasn't there for a while. So that's one hargosha. That means nizdaza ivram or akitza. The second thing is, which I just mentioned, psiches miya makar. Third thing is hargosha duvzlach. Now, the first two things which we mentioned, the first thing is nizdaza gifa, is probably nobody has today's day. It's probably no lady has this kind of hargosha. Hargoshas pia makar, 95% won't have. And that's not in today's day. The Cheshav Yankov, which was already 350 years ago, writes in his shuvas, I spoke with all kind of ladies, and the ladies told us, they don't feel, they don't do. So basically we take an inzer in Halucha, we take basically that the first two hargoshas is very rarely, very seldom that the lady should feel. Third thing, which it says, Zivas Duvalach, which the Noidibidi says that's also hargosha, and the Alter Rebbe goes with it. Some poskim disagree. Some Sofer goes totally against it, but poskim take it. But we could play around with it. Aber dus nennt man ja on that Zivas Duvalach there is a hargosha. But that's also not that rare, their comment. So basically, if we just said before that in order a lady should become a nida daraisa, she has to have hargosha, and we say just now that most of the ladies do not feel, so somebody's going to say most of our ladies basically are not nida daraisa. It's only the drabonon. What? Oh, is the edbedik? That's already when the boydik, or by Yom Vest. But like Levi says, when a lady gets a period, that's a nida daraisa. When the lady knows usually how her period looks like, how much dam there is, how much blood, how does she feel. When a lady gets a period, even it's not the time she gets the period, but she has not only the symptoms, but the quantity, the way she feels, the ladies know what it is, then she's a nida daraisa. Or there's other points where the Moshe Naishas used to say that, for instance, a lady sits on the toilet bowl, and it's so much dam that basically the water gets red, real red. So that's a nida daraisa. Some people say if it's as big as, if you have dam as big as a half a coin, $50, it's a nida daraisa. So what do one want to come to it? That all of our ladies, when they get the period, they are nida daraisa. Again, there's no difference between nida daraisa and nida rabun, as I mentioned before. But in order to note that all of them are nida daraisa. So don't make any mistakes. Daraisa and Rabunan, haluch is shnagaya, but even in hergish is that a lady when gets a period, she's a nida daraisa. So again, we have this kind of three periods which we know. There's das Iverim, the hargushas pia makor, zivas duvalach. Now,
you said the Alter Rebbe even holds that it comes out from the feeling is from the
vagina, but that's for sure not coming out from the vagina out.
Yeah.
You have to feel it in the vagina. Something is running, like water is running. Not what, because coming out from the woman's body onto her underwear, that's a common phenomenon. It's a common phenomenon. So therefore, you're going to say every time she sees blood, it's a daraisa because she feels no. Has to be in the rechem, not the rechem, in the vagina. She has to feel something is running. What? Dafka blood. If she doesn't see blood.
To be nida, yeah.
Yeah, to be nida is.
The feeling it can be something.
Yeah. Oh, now we have halacha, which is called if a lady felt something. What does she do? Is she in the middle of the day? She's in the middle of baking, of cooking, whatever she does in the work, and she feels one of the three things which you say. Now again, I said most of the ladies do not feel, but there is such a thing as a hargosha. There are some. So if somebody knows that their wives have this hargosha, so that's that. Ich meine not to say that most of the people do not have this hargosha. But if a person basically sits in her office or whatever she does, and she feels zichus duvalach, which is common. This is common. What is the halacha? She feels any or she feels any hargosha. What's the halacha?
And she didn't see blood.
Oh, that she felt something. She's now on her table. She's in the kitchen. What does she need to do? The first thing she needs to do is look for the first bathroom and take a badika, and she has to be boidik herself. If she feels a hargusha, which is a hargusha of coming blood, she has to be boidik herself. If she took make a badika, and she found any color, which is basically a Torah color, but it's not just a color, because any time when you're going to take a badika, you're going to find some color. That's the human nature, has all kind of mucus, all kind of wetness. You're always going to find some kind of yellow, but it has to be a little bit more, a little bit thicker, a little bit. If you felt, and she came, and she made the badika, and she saw some kind of saliva, I don't know how it's called, but a shleim, then you could be toilet, and it is on she had a feeling because the maratur, and it's okay. If she made a bedika and she felt a clean cloth came out, but she felt the hargosha, which basically she felt, then she's going to be toma. Again, she felt the hargoshas which she feels when she has a period. She made a bedika right away, and that's the first thing she should do. She should make right away a bedika. And if she doesn't see anything on it, then we are going to say that there was a tiny drop of blood and it got lost somewhere, and she is toma. If she made a bedika and she will find something which is a color which is kosher, this is a kosher color, then you could be toilet. That was the it's on the hargosha was because the kosher color, and that will be fine. One more thing before I mention. Oh, now what? That's all three hargoshas. I want to come. What?
It's very rare.
It's very rare, but it can happen.
Just she feels
It
the
can
night
happen.
before a period, the day before the period, those type of things.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
Again, if she feels the hargosha is some kind of belly, that's not hargosha. That's not called hargosha. She doesn't have to.
Even though dam the period is yet, dam tummy.
Dam
What
toda.
happens before is the shagoshes. It doesn't have to make a bedika then. She feels something that she feels like it's a
No, the sigonish. Sit ne guys an bavest hagif, it is ne guys an. Aber in hilchas hargusha has to be hargusha when the blood comes. This kind of hargashim you could feel 12 hours before or even more. So therefore, that's not called hargusha that you have to be boidik. When I'm talking hargusha, we read one of the three hargushas. But one second, I'm gonna just finish this thing. Since we just said that hargusha zivaduvalach, which is the most common hargusha, she is a machloikes achroinam if it is a kod hargosha. So therefore, zogen the poiskam, there's a famous Rebbe Tzudik Kohen, the famous Rebbe Tzudik, the Rebbe, the Lubliner Rebbe. He was a big Talmid Chochem in Nigla, and he wrote a sefer Ochtan Lechasnida, and he writes over there that today's day that the women go with underwear which is sumad lagifa. What is it called? It's tied to their body. So he wants to take it that it is as if sie gewähne habedika, and you could rely on that. Now, ins nemen ich all the way this Reb Tzudek. But v'oifem wes sie gewähne sibes du valach, and she has no possibility to make a bedika then, and she will make only an hour, 2 hours later, which according to some poskim it's too late. We could rely on that nekida that since she had panties which is basically close to her body and it's clean, she checked it and it's clean, we could rely on that.
That's a chumrah.
No, that's a killer.
If it's clean, then it's a
Here it's a killer.
What do you mean?
If it's clean, it's just tummy though, because they have nothing to tell them.
If there is epis on top, which this will a lot of times will be exactly, yeah. The what? If it's color, you have to be able to see taka something. If not, kannst du nicht steuern sein. So basically, there's the inyan of hargosha. Now, since a lot of ladies feel this hargosha, and every time she checked it, and she sees it's only a kosher amara. So what does it have? Whole life she'll have to go run, make a bedika. Zung dachroinam. If a lady has this tendency to have hargoshas, not everybody has it. If she has the tendency to have this hargosha, and she checked 3 times, and all three times it was basically amara, which is kosher, it wasn't dam. From now on, she could rely, as whenever she feels this thing, she could rely, it's a amara tur, and it will be okay. Again, if she had machze gewinnt that she sees maras tehoides, you have to be a chazuke 3 times. She checked, she felt as she checked, and she saw this kind of maratur. Again, as I mentioned before, some thickness of slime. She can be machze herself that that's a maratur, and that will be fine. She won't have to every time she feels something run into the toilet make a bedika. So that's a starke.
So this will be down to the kakoin that you can with the but you can look at the underpants to see consider the bedika. That has to be white underpants. I mean, like.
If you're going to see if colored one and you won't be able to see what happens over there, so then you have a problem. Basically, you have a problem.
Color, light color.
If a light color, and you could see that it was basically a slime which is not red, then you could realign it, yeah. But it's always kedai once the first second when she is before she was machzik, when she is, even though she has the panty which is close to her body, if she has an option to go and make a bedika, it is always kedai. Although some poskim say there's a limit how far you can make a bedika, but since the other poskim say that it till some say 12 hours, some say a little bit more, so therefore it's always kedai when you have the first option to make a bedika, to go making out, you guys start out from all the problems. But again, the best thing will be if it happens, a lady which has this tendency, she should be machzik herself, and then for the rest of her life, she won't have this problem because she knows she has this tendency to have, it should become maras toheres.
That works for both if it's a tar or if there's nothing there. Same thing.
No, if she she doesn't find, then she has a problem.
For the rest of her life.
If she has this hargosha and she doesn't find, that means as there maybe was blood and she yeah. Yeah, even 3, 4, 4 times. Yeah, but usually it will be some kind of maras toheres. Usually, again, well, this is the teve fin froon.
From the time of the Hagasha till the time of the Bedikah, she has to act like an Yiddish, she's not allowed to touch the food.
She has to make a bedika right away.
This is all the harafakas during the period between.
She has suffolk, maybe she's a nida. Yeah, she has suffolk, maybe she's a nida. There's a third thing how a lady could become a nida drais. I mentioned before 2 things. One is basically a hargusha. The second would be a bedika's ed. And the third thing would be, which is a very complicated halukha, is after she went to the ladies' room. After she went to the ladies' room and she made the kaniach, she cleaned herself, and she finds on the toilet paper she will find blood. If it's taikiv mayat after she finished going to the ladies' room, that means she finished making and right away she made the bedika. She wiped herself. That will be a problem also of a sufa argusha deraisa. Why? Because we have the same chashash as we had by ed, bedika's ed. What we say bedika's ed is, we are afraid maybe she had a argusha, but she didn't feel the argusha because basically her argusha's ed. She thought she is feeling only the cloth, basically, but she had a real argusha. Same thing will be by a maraglaim. Sometimes she will go to the ladies' room and she will make, and she's going to feel feelings, but she's going to think it's only the maraglaim, it's only what she has, So basically, and it's not. So therefore, whenever, if ever, she went to the women's room, and she right away, she made the bedika, and it's red, you're going into problems. So therefore, it's a thing which everybody needs to constantly give over for their wives. First of all, whenever you go in the ladies' room, don't look on bedikas. Don't look on bedikas. On the tissue. I'm sorry, on the tissue. Don't look. Wipe yourself and don't look. Rabbi Tziner writes in his book, if I had a koyach, I would say a lady should not go in the woman's room with light. She have to close the light. Don't look on papers, on tissues. It's one of the hardest shilas which you have is this thing. So there's the number one. If you did look at it, do not throw it away. Do not throw it away. That's the second biggest problem by the ladies. Don't throw it. You have to bring it to the rov. We have to look at it. Don't throw it away. Third of all, which is also very important to say, but today's day is a little bit less. You don't have to stress it so much because it happens automatic. Do not wipe yourself right away after you finish. Sit on the toilet bowl for 30 seconds. Minimum 30 seconds after it's finished. Today's day it's not that because you have a smartphone or you have a newspaper. So basically it automatically will be like that. But if somebody is in a rush, tell her she has to wait 30 seconds before she wipes herself. Because if it's less than that, if it's less than 15 seconds, you have a big problem. So again, make sure your wives know. Do not look at anything when you wipe yourself. Do not look at it.
Why would waiting 30 seconds help?
Because then it's not considered a gushas ma'reglaim. It's not a... You don't have to look anything. Even if they don't look at all. Even if you have a shaila, if it's after it's easier. It's easier. Yeah. But again, nochmal, I'm only saying that you should know the facts. Paskinen, nobody should paskin. I'm telling you, most of the time when people asking for themselves, they're making only kaliyah. The Rabbanim have all the methods how to try to make it easy on the people. There's not Indian, don't paskin for yourself. You have to go to the Rav and ask all the shaylas. I would prefer, b'chalal, that the lady should call, not the man. Because usually it goes, she calls, I want to say, let me ask her, and she comes back, oh, another question, and it's finally the end, the lady will come to the phone. So tell her she should call to the phone the first thing, because there's all kind of things which you have to ask, which makes it different in la halacha. And again, there's no Indian, the Rebbeinu do not have no interest to answer you. So therefore, try to get the whole, if you want to ask, you get the maximum information from your wife and ask. So that's why a lot of things I'm going to say here is not that you should pass, you should know the halachas and you should pass. And it's only you should be aware how we could deal with it, that when you come to a Rav, you should know how to handle it. So again, nobody should look at the tissue paper after she wipes herself. If she did find even the tiniest thing, do not throw it away. And third, stay a little bit on the seat before you wipe yourself. Then we have a lot of ways how to handle. And this is a shaila which is the harder shaila, and it is a common shaila. And by the way, us Liubavitch Chassidim is even much more harder than all the world, because the Alter Rebbe, although he has a lot of killers, which we're going to see down the road, he has one chimra, which is a real chimra, is kaniach. By some rabbonim, if you made the kaniach and you went in a tiny drop, that means not too far inside, it's called a kaniach, and it's not called a bedika. So, as I mentioned before, a bedika is a shalaf in the reise. Kaniach is nicht kein shalaf in the reise. But according to a lot of poiskim, even she went in, if it's not real deep, it's still called a kaniach. By Alter Rebbe, there's no such a thing. If you went in, it is called a bedika. So therefore, if it's in the surface, that's something else. But if you went in a little bit deeper, it is called a bedika. And once you're going into a bedika, as I mentioned before, it's a shalaf in a daraisa, everything changes. Because a bedika, you are more chomer. So therefore, try to not, when you wipe yourself, do not go in over there, b'chalal, if you can. And another thing which I forgot to mention is also very important. When she wipes herself, she should wipe herself in a wider place. Back, forward, in a wider place. But then, you could also take it into consideration, maybe whatever she found is from the back. So these three things we have to have in our mind. The what? Shouldn't? No, again, very important. Yeah, you brought up a very important thing. Sometimes, she gets excited, she found something. She made a kaniach. Again, that's called a kaniach. Wiping herself around the kaniach. She sees something. She gets all nervous. So, maybe I got my period. She takes a bedika and she makes a bedika. A tissue or a bedika or whatever it should be. You're killing it. Don't do anything. Don't do anything. Go to the Rav and ask what to do. Don't pass yourself. Because once you have a bedika and then you find something, then you're going to be toma, medaraisa. So therefore, if you get excited, don't do excess what you don't need to do. Ask, pick up the phone, and then you're gonna do what you need to do. But also a thing which a lot of ladies do. They get excited, they take a bedika, they check themselves. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, so this is the thing which I mentioned before, that what we need to do about hargoshas. So now, let's start a little bit in the unum of vest. What happens after she basically got her vest? She got her vest. She got her period. What do you need to do? Now, let's start. Most of the women get their periods when they were girls. So basically, it's I can't show the way how I want to start, but I'm going to start, let's say, after a baby, which more or less, after you have a baby, you finished nursing, you start getting your periods regularly. So how does it work, the vest? So we have three major vests, which is called Yom HaChodesh. That's number one. Number two is called Vest Hafluga, which you're going to come to it, what it is, everything. Third is the most important, which is called Oina Bainanis. Oina Bainanis means a lady which does not have a set vest, which is most of our ladies. Most of our ladies do not have a vest kvia. That's the human nature. Not now, it's probably almost from the time of the Rashonim. Last Rashonim, at least we see it already that we don't have to raise a vest kvia. Again, there's no such thing as no. There is such a thing as a vest kvia. I had already more than one a lady to have a vest kvia, but most of the ladies do not have a vest kvia. It's not a mile to have a vest kvia, by the way. Although halachidik, if you have a vest kvia and everything is like a clockwise as a machai, a lot of things falls away. But usually, after 3, 4, or 5 times, it starts getting it changes. So then, everything what you had in vest kvia stays l'ol me'at almost. So therefore, it's not a mile. But since the guy, nobody asks you if you have a, if you like a vest kvia or not a vest kvia. So basically, most of our ladies do not have vest kvias. So basically, when she sees a period after she basically finished nursing, I mentioned Yom HaChodesh, Yom Avesta Fluga, in Oine Beinus. Oh, I was in the middle of Oine Beinus. What's Oine Beinus? Oine Beinus means like this. If we don't have a vest kvia, as I mentioned before, most of our ladies do not have a vest kvia. So, how do I know what to do? When it's going to be? How do I know what's going on? So Chazal say like this: a lady, the Rebbe Shem hat reingestellt in the nature, that a lady has to see dam. The period has to be once in 30 days. That's it's called. The poskim call it. Some poskim call it chava. Udem v'chava. She was a healthy fro. Most of the fro basically is, if once upon a time they were healthy ladies, they had a vest kvia. But mitzad chulshas hador, today's day, mitzad the chulshas, the environment, whatever it should be, global warming, if you're one of the fans of that. So basically, you don't have a system which is a solid system. So Chazal say, since Chava had a system, which is more or less once in 30 days, so any lady which does not have a vest kvia, she doesn't have a set time when she's going to see, she has to be choishes the 30th day, that she's going to see. So that's oine beinus, and that's almost considered as a vest kvia. So let's start. The first thing is when a lady starts to see the first time, she sees, let's say, for instance, ches taivas. She saw a ria ches taivas. She writes down in the calendar, she saw it ches taivas. When is the next time she has to be choishes? Next month, ches shvat. Why? Why ches? Because Chazal say the period of a lady has to do with the levona. Has to do with the levona. Malchis, Ishis beginnes Malchis, Malchis lässt le magar malakim, levona lässt le magar malakim. A lady has her period works with the levona. So therefore, if she saw the period when she was ches, the 8th day of the month in the lunar month, so we have to be choishish next chodesh, the same thing ches will come the best. So therefore, if she saw this time ches, next time she'll have to be choishish ches. Ches taivas, the next chodesh will be ches shvat. That's called Yom HaChodesh, the day of the month. That's number one. She sees a second time, and the second time is whatever it should be, Yid Shvat. So now she has, one thing is ches, and if it went, the ches went through in the Meide Badike and she didn't find, it falls away. But let's say that she saw, let's say Zayin Shvat she saw. Next month she saw Zayin Shvat. So we have to make a cheshbon. How much day? What was the time which it took her to fill up her system, fill up of blood? What is the time that it takes to fill up the system? It should come again. That's a fluga. That's called, what does it mean, a fluga? A fluga means from one day to the other day. How much the fluga means from one day to the other day, how many days it's in between. Now, there's two ways how to think about this, about the fluga. There's the way how most of the world are going. That means the day when she saw, and the second time she saw again. So how many days was one from the first time she saw, the second time she saw, and you count the days which she saw also, and it's 35 days. So she will next month have to think again 35 days. That's the way how most of other poskim go. The Alter Rebbe goes with Trimsadation, And he has also a lot of poskim even today's day. The Rigsaboisam Tzelem Ruf with Odigo, which goes with Alter Rebbe's Halach, which is not Alter Rebbe's Halach, it's a Tremsedation. The Alter Rebbe's Cheshma is, we have to see how many clean days she had. How many days she had clean. So therefore, how many days is once she's clean till she got again. She got the next period. So if it's 20 days, so it will be 20 days, be choishes next time 20 days. It's not days, we're going to come to a mid. It's oines, akapunim. Whenever it's not the clean, it's not days bechlal, like the Chasam Sofer, Shitz Chasam Sofer, is from the first time she saw to the second time she saw. It is clean days. How many days she's clean? How do we know when she's clean? Is usually, basically, is when she makes the hefsek tahara. When she makes the hefsek tahara, she knows now she's clean. So we make the cheshm from the hefsek tahara till the next time she saw. We make a cheshm how many days was between that time, and azoifel dav zi chosheshan. That's a vest afluga. We're going to come in a little bit in the details in a minute, but what's this a vest afluga? Third thing, as I mentioned, is in a bind, which is also a vest afluga, but it's a vest afluga of 30 days, and that's l'chol hadayas, like the Chasam Sofer in aflugas. That means from the day she saw the first time, 30 days next. If she saw today, she has to count 30 days. 30 days from now, she has to be choishes again. So we have three things which have to be choishes. The first time, the day of the month when she saw. That's number one. She saw a second time, she has to be mach the cheshem. How many days was the clean days from when she made the hefsek tahara till the day she got the period again? That's called vestafluga. The third thing which she has to meet mach cheshman is from when she saw 30 days. If she doesn't see again, if she doesn't see it in the middle. So therefore, 30 days from when she saw, she has to make a cheshbon. So you have to write down, if she saw, let's say, ches taivas, she has to be choishish ches shvat. Then she saw ches shvat again, she has to make the cheshbon, how many days it was the clean days, and she has to mark down on the calendar how many days it was, the days which was clean, and count the same thing, the days which was clean. And third thing she has to write down, last time we saw ches, 30 days from that is going to be your oinabainaness. Now, a lot of times the oinabainaness Yom HaChodesh will be on the same day. That will be sometimes. But she has to make a cheshbon when it's oinabainaness Yom HaChodesh, because there's a locha, the different ramifications, if it's a oinabainaness or it's a Yom HaChodesh.
The difference is the setara. She does the setara the 5th day, she does the 6th day or the 7th day. She's going to wait 20 days anyway.
Exactly. If she has a period for 7 days, which a lot of people have today's day, it's not a 5-day period, 7-day period, and she makes the hefsek tahara only after 7 days. So you make a cheshbon from when she made the hefsek tahara till the next time she's going to see. What happens, for instance, if for any reason she made the bdika betoch 5 days. In the 5 days she checked herself and she's clean. Now you cannot start the 7 days within the 5 days. There's no such a thing. 5 days is 5 days. But she checked, whatever, she went to a doctor, the doctor checked, or even she herself, she knew that she's going to be, the time when she's going to be, she had to make the hefsek tahara, the 5th day she's going to be in an airplane, she won't be able to make hefsek tahara, and she feels that she's finished after 4 days, and she makes a hefsek tahara on the 4th day, although she cannot start counting only after the 5th day, but the hefsek tahara is a good hefsek tahara, then they make the cheshbon from when she made the bedika. Why? The what? 9. Oib so gemacht hast da. The what? No.
She comes home from work 5 o'clock.
She forgets to do that.
She can't do hefsek before shkir. He's asking why she didn't play.
Du schreibst the Shairis Yide. Der Shairis Yide sucht der Maril. Der Alter Rebbe's Bride schreibt den Kide. This is eine von der schweren Sachen mit Alter Rebbe's Cheshbon, als wusste Stacke. So he says no. As long as she doesn't know, sie sich nicht machse gewähnt, as she's clean, heißt es nicht, as she's clean. Now, if she came home and she missed half an hour from the shkia, not half an hour after hour, even right after the shkia, she lost that day. So her hefsek tahara is going to be a night afterwards. She has to be choishes then.
Also geht das. Das ist the Nikita. So usually they sagen nicht also common. The Ike Sache sagen common. Some if not common. If a lady knows she has only a vest for 3 days, she knows usually, but she has a geschboide gewein, even though she's going to make a cheshm only after the 5th day. But if she made a bedike, then
This is all for that flogger, right?
this is all for vest afloga. We are talking now vest afloga. Yom Chodesh is very easy. Yom Chodesh, the day, ches. Afloga is, that's why the Alter Rebbe's cheshm is a little bit more complicated than the Welt's cheshm, and therefore a lot of persons did not want to go. I know Puperuf, yeah. Where I learned when I was a bocher, my Puperuf was a big chus of Alter Rebbe, mamash a big chuset. So when he gave his shiurim, he says you should keep the Chassam Sofer shitta and the Alter Rebbe shitta, both, because he was Alter Rebbe's chuset. After a while, when people got confused, he says then stop the Alter Rebbe, because let's go to the Chassam Sofer. After he was a Hungarian Rof, so Chassam Sofer is Chassam Sofer. But Alter Rebbe is a little bit complicated. But that's our shitta. That's the shitta which in Chassidic Chabad are going according to this. So that's how we're going to work.
Is there any benefit for doing it earlier within the 5 days if she thinks she's Tower?
There's no benefit. No. But if she did, then she put it on the calendar. But there's no benefit. There's no benefit. So this is.
It's what I said before. If she's flying,
If she cannot, if she is going to be in a place where she won't be able to make hefsek tahara, and she knows that she's clean already, she could make hefsek. She can make hefsek tahara. Although she's not going to cheshman till 5, she could make a hefsek tahara for them, and she does not have to make a hefsek tahara again afterwards. No.
So if she knows that she usually has a 3 or 4 day period, then she knows, so she makes a bedika, let's say after day 3 or day 4.
Then
she can't throw shivin akiyah.
She counts from when she made the hefsek tahara. Yeah. And not only hefsek tahara. If she made the bedika for some odd reason, not laughing me hefsek. She made a good bedika, she wanted to see something, I don't know what. And it's clean, is it so?
Why don't we say that Kinoach, if the Alter Rebbe holds Kinoach is like the Bedikas, so why don't we say...
Nein, hefsek darf sein a bedika. Hefsek, efshe du inwendig dam, efshe du inwendig dam.
Someone saw a stay that there's no period, but you start to count 5 in here, so you should do a predict after 1 day also.
Yes, exactly, you can do it. But the 5 days doesn't change. 5 days doesn't change. So basically, this is the 3 Sachen which we have to be choishish. Vesta chodesh, vesta afluga, in oine bainis. But now let's see a little bit halochas. Now I mentioned before that the Alter Rebbe says vesta afluga goes the clean days. There's another difference which is a chilik between the Alter Rebbe and the other poskim. But this over here we have a lot of more poskim which go with the Alter Rebbe than Sof afluga. The Alter Rebbe says afluga does not go with days, it goes with oinas. That means, according to other poskim, if you see trei a bedike, period, and let's say trei is the hefsek tahara, then 25 days from trei, you got the period. You count 25 days. It goes with days. Now the Alter Rebbe says it doesn't go with days. It goes with oinas. That means every day has 2 oinas: a night and a night oina, and the morning oina. So therefore, you count the oinas. That means it will be it could only be a difference with 1 oina. The difference between the other poskim in the Alter Rebbe's shita could be only with 1 oina. So therefore, you have to count. That's why in the calendars which you have today's day, which the Machshavas HaTahara, which he made B'Shato, or all the rest. Today's day, everybody has apps, Baruch Hashem. In the app makes all the calculations. If not, you should have that, because the app is a good thing. And the app makes all the calculations. It's basically even you don't have on your mind, and he figures it out. So if you don't have the app, the Chabad app, it is kedai to go with it. But if you're going to look on the papers, on the sheets, you can only see every day has a dark one and a light one, which is mean night and the morning. You have to check at night in the morning. At night in the morning, you have to count the oinas. And according to the count the oinas, this is how you're going to be choishish. That means it's not 25 days. It will be 50 oinas or 49 oinas. It depends when you had it. That is basically another chilik, which is from Alter Rebbe, which we go according to the Alter Rebbe with other poskim. Now, the difference, and then the third thing which has is oina bainis. What is the difference between vesta chodesh and vesta fluga in oina bainis? There's one vital chilik. Vest a chodesh and vest a fluga is only that oina which you saw. Only the oina which you saw. Again, the day is divided in two. From the shkia till the night, and from the night till the shkia. That it is how it's divided. So people are going to ask me, tzeis? We all know that you daven ma'ariv only when you have tzeis. Night is only when it's tzeis. Yes, but since I mentioned before that the period of a lady has to do with the sun, with the levuna, and therefore, so in the levuna kapurim. So therefore, once it comes shkia, then the day is over. So it goes from the shkia till the night till the shkia, and that's according to 99% of poskim. Rarely they have something else. Ismach Moshe writes different. It goes from the Allahs, but even all other poskim which do not go with the Alter Rebbe, this is a stated fact from the Netzach Chama till the shkia. Now, if a person saw a vest ches taivas, she saw it at night. When is the time she has to choishish next time, ches shvat? At night. She saw it last time at night. She's going to check it, has to check it herself at night. If she sees 3 times ches and it's the same oina at night, she's going to have a veskaviyah. If she saw 3 times ches, but once it was at night, once it was in the morning, you have no veskaviyah. Veskaviyah has to be on the same day and the same oina. So therefore, in order to be a veskaviyah, has to be the same oinas. The same will be vesta fluga. Everything goes with oinas. So therefore, when we're going to talk what you have to do the day when you have a chash vest, you have to make a bedika, or you have to be poirish yourself. That's only going to be that oina which you have to be choishish. Again, if you saw last time at night, ches, you have to wait, ches shvat, that oina in the morning is going to be mitter, all things about the tashmish is usred bayoim, but I'm talking chibik v'nishik, all these things, it's a mitter. The same will be other thing. If she saw last time bayoim, she's going to be also only bayoim and not at night. That's only by vesta chodesh in vesta fluga. When it comes to oina bainanis, is auch machloikes, everything is machloikesen. But again, we're going to the Alter Rebbe, and this is a thing which also I would say 85% of the poskim will go with the Alter Rebbe too. It's not the Alter Rebbe, it's a Plaisi. The Alter Rebbe goes with the Plaisi very strong. That oina bainanis goes 24 hours. That means from the shkia to shkia, and that's both ways. One way is that if she saw 3 times oina bainanis, once at night and once in the morning, once at night, that means in the same day, but once the night to the 30th day, and the 30th day in the morning, 3 times, she has a veskaviyah for oina bainanis. That means for the 30 days. Because oina bainanis goes a cycle of 24 hours, not 12 hours. So therefore, that's the chilik of oina bainanis and your machoidish in Vestafluga. So when you write in the calendar, when your wife saw the period, you have to write like this. The day, that's number 1. The oina, what oina was at night or was in the morning. The hour when she saw, he's going to come to, says on the guy a little bit later, the hour when she saw it. That's once. She sees the second time, you have to write already now how many haflugas you had, how many oinas you had hafluga, clean haflugas, from the last time you saw till the second time you saw. From the half-sick again, always from the half-sick till she saw the last time, how many oinas was it, and what time, when did she see it, in which oina, at night or in the morning. You have to write it, night and the morning. Third thing is, you make a cheshbon 30 days from when she saw it. If she saw it in the morning, whatever, or in the morning or at night, you count 30 days, and then all the full day will be osir. From at night, from the previous night, till the end of the day, oina bainan is the 24-hour chilik. So there's a reason of what?
Why oina bainan is different than...
Yeah. And it's a very nice reason. The guys on auch bald in a minute, legabe the shoe. The reason is like this. When it comes to Yom HaChodesh in Vestafluga, we look at that lady. We don't know when she's going to see her period, but since she saw last time Ches, I assume she's going to see ches again. Since last time she saw at night, I assume she's going to see at night. Last time she saw a fluga of 56 oiners, it's probably she's going to see again this time also 56 oiners, because we look at this lady. Oina bainis, as I mentioned before, has nothing to do with you, with this lady. Oina bainis has to do with chava. Chava, so a lady sees once in 30 days. It has nothing to do with you. Chazal said, if she doesn't have a specific time when she says, she doesn't have a veskavia, which is we know that this is her period, we have to assume she is from clueless digger, most of the ladies once upon a time, as Chava Imaini had. And Chava Imaini saw the 30th day. But Chava Imaini could see it at night, could see it in the morning. It's the 30th day. Chazal said, it's the tug is Serish Dan Indian. It is the day which is the goyrem. 30th day. When 30th day? I don't know. Whenever. It could be from Aleph till Tuf. I don't know. There's no specific time when the Chava saw. When we talk about you have to check on yourself, so we assume whenever you made last time a kaviyas, was probably not even like last time you saw, was probably you're going to see the same time, the second time. But when we're not talking about this lady, so therefore we're saying what is the time when I assume she's going to see? So therefore it is the 24-hour cycle, and it's not a 12-hour cycle. So the guys on day vort, the guys on ochet in a minute when she has to make the bedika. The time of the day. But just is it clear they nikida these three vests? I just want to make sure if people get these three vests, was I said, vesta chodesh, vesta fluge, in oine beinis. The what?
The day comes after the night.
The day?
The Lila first and then the day. Yeah.
The Lila first, and one more thing one should make. So when I say we are chodesh means the Hebrew calendar. If she sees every month, January 1st, February 1st, March 1st, she has no veskavia. We only go according to the Yiddish calendar. It has nothing to do with the Goyish calendar. So we have to make this clear. Oh, dus will take me jetzt. The next Schlaf. What do we need to do? What do we need to do? I want one thing beforehand was a wichtige Sache. I just mentioned before, we have to write if it's at night, if it's in the morning. Some people wake up in the morning and she sees she got the period. So what do you do then? Did she get it at night? Did she get it in the morning? There's a common shal. The answer is, if you don't know, you woke up in the morning, you found it in the morning, you say, kan nimtze kan hoyu, you saw it in the morning. If you woke up and it's mamash by the nets, 3 minutes before, 3 minutes after, then zog the Alter Rebbe dach mechoyshe zan, both at night and in the morning. But I don't think the ladies are up by the nets.
In 3 minutes.
Not 3-4 minutes. You know. Okay, yeah, okay. But usually when she wakes up and she feels that she got the period, and it's the middle, it's a day by day, you write down on the calendar, she saw it by the day. This is a wichtige Schach, was macht sich Charles Gseider. Now, yeah.
First is always the night after the time.
Always the night after.
That's when it starts.
Then when it starts, yeah.
About that, in the Beit is she could be Kaveh, she sees it by night and then day. Could you just clarify that point?
Oine Bein is me.
That means if she sees it 3 times on the Oine Beit, is that what you're saying?
If she, yeah, then, noch einmal, if she sees 3 times, hat sie a Westkvier. Aber in order.
She sees it on the 20th day, and then the next 20 nights later, and then 20 days later. Is that
20 nights, with Oine Bein is only 30 days.
No, I'm saying
Only
that's
30
not
days.
gonna be Kaveh.
No, that's not cool. It has to be in the same. It has to be in the same Oine.
But if she sees it on the Oine Beinis,
Yeah.
then it will be.
But it's the zan Oine Bein is die Geschale. Nicht an a Westafluge die Geschale.
I'm asking, will that make her a West Kaveh?
If she saw it,
On the Oine Beinis.
if she sees Oine, nine.
No.
Nine.
I thought you said that.
Sie kennen a Westafluge für 30 days. Aber dann ist es schon wieder a unnötige Sache. Nor the Oine Beinen is a 24 hours. Whenever it's going to be a Westafluge, if it happens to be it's a Westafluge of 30 days,
When somebody becomes a Kaveh, when it meant like this, does that have to do with the Oine or the day?
Kavua has to do with the same Oine. Has to be on the same Oine. Yeah.
So it could be 9 days. First one was one night. So then it was the next one was the day.
Yeah.
Count days
Wester Flüge kann sein, aber sie, ja, weil ich rechne nicht, oh, geht lo da eines, ja. Aber sie müssen an selber, sie müssen, ja. Ja, noch on. Bei Wester Flüge, according to the Alter Rebbe, that you go on eines, so automatically you count 57 eines, 57 eines. Einer Beines is a 24-hour cycle. Das ist es.
See 3 times on eine Beines, but between those 3 times, sometimes it was by night, sometimes it was
So you cannot be.
but makes the best kavua.
It best give you only if it's the same one. Only if it's only. Nochmal, you have to. If let me stop a minute. If you have 3 times in eine Beines, one at night, one at night, you have to do 2 things. You have to count how much was the oines between. Happens to be that if the oines stimmt, then it's going to be a vaskvir. It's going to be a vaskvir of a fluge according to oines. So dort not gaat dan afkomen. It's clear? So what do you need to do? What do you need to do? Okay, again, what is the oine beines? 30 days. Dus darf man gedenken. 30 days, because there's other, the Welt has 2 oine beines. Ich will nicht sagen, in dem ist nicht der Geier. So our oine beines will be 30 days. The Welt hat noch Alamad Alaf, mit uns haben wir oine Sanseria. Der Alter Rebbe gave us in this thing a big lenient that, 30 days, but you also have to make the cheshbon Yom HaChodesh, because sometimes Yom HaChodesh is going to be the 31st day, so therefore you have to make still the cheshbonis. What do you need to do? Okay, what do you need to do? What do you need to do b'shas when it comes to the chash vest? What do you need to do? One thing I have to go back. Noch eine Nikide. Das ist auch eine wichtige Nikide. And one thing which is a difference. He runs faster than D'maנסי. One wichtige Sache is Nagaya. When you talk about Yom HaChodesh could have 2 Yom HaChodesh too. If you saw, let's say, Ches Taivas. Next time you saw Rosh Chodesh Shvat. Yeah? And then you saw Ches Taivas again. So you have 2 Yom HaChodesh. Ches Shvat. Ches Shvat. Yom HaChodesh is no machlokas. By Yom HaChodesh there's no machlokas. That's what I want to come to. By Yom HaChodesh you can have 2 vests on that Chodesh. Because, again, the tug is the goyim. So since the tug, the day makes it come. So if it didn't go through that day and you didn't see it, you made a badika and you didn't see it, so you still have the day. It doesn't fall off from the calendar. So you could.
If you clean, it goes away.
If you clean, that means you make a badika. It goes away. Yeah, this is going to come. Yeah. If you have a what? Yom HaChodesh. Yom HaChodesh is the tug blabt. That means if she saw Ches Shvat, Ches Taivas, and the next time she saw Chufai Taivas, yeah, Chufai Taivas. So she has to write in the calendar Ches and Chufai. The both days can zan as Setkiman. When the next one is going to be Ches, she made a bedika and it didn't come. It didn't come. You scrap Ches. Ches, you lost it. You still have Chufai. We didn't pass over yet. Again, she saw Ches Taivas. She saw Chufai Taivas. When it comes Ches Shvat, you make a bedika. You didn't see anything, you scrap it. If you didn't make a bedika, it doesn't fall away. If you made the bedika, it falls away. It comes Chufai, the second Chufai Shvat. Again, you have to make a bedika. If it's clean, falls away Chufai too. So you can have 2 days till ones fall down. When it comes to your fluga, there's no such a thing, 2 aflugas. Only one way. But pashtas, when you have a fluga, let's say from 25 days, and then the next afluga is going to be not again. We're not talking days. We're talking 25 oinas. Next time you saw 28 oinas, 26 is gone. The next time you see 32 oinas, 28 is gone. When can it be a difference? If you have 56 oinus, and the second time you had 52 oinus. So it was never went through the 56 oinus, which is clean. So therefore, it stays. That means it's called a fluge ariche eina koiris a fluge ktsura. That means this is the Alter Rebbe Shitta. A gross chalik in the poskim go with the Alter Rebbe and this Shitta. Some poskim do not go with it, but again, the Alter Rebbe goes, and a lot of poskim go with this Shitta. That means a fluge ariche. That means if you had once a long period, let's say 100 oinus, and the next time, so you can have 3 years, 25, 30, 58, 62, 100 will stay on the calendar. 100 will not fall away. 100 will always stay on the calendar. Only when it goes through the 100 and you check yourself and it was clean, then it falls away. So that's the only way how it could be too. But
when you come to such a long one again.
It is only negaya when you come. Next time you can have another 100, and you see, then you have to write. You have 2 times 100, 3 times 100. You can have a beskavia. So basically, it can happen. A person should have a beskavia which is made up from 8 years, 10 years, because you have to always have the cheshem of Rav Wosner came up with a chiddush that after 3 times, drop it. But the Alter Rebbe steht beferish nicht so. This bleibt always. And again, a lot of poskim go with the Alter Rebbe on this thing, and you have to along when it can happen. It can happen. Sometimes it goes through 3-4 months, which you don't see for some other reason. What? No, bei Beres then fällt alles weg. They have pills. Okay, this is a different sheer pills. Is a different complicated. The what?
You're talking about people who get their periods irregularly.
Irregularly, yeah. Some people every there's some people who get every once in 6 months. This is a problem for children, because a healthy lady is usually from 26 till 34, 28, 32. That's healthy for children. If it's longer or shorter, you have problems with children. But today's day, Baruch Hashem, there's a lot of solutions to this thing, so therefore we can help them. So this is the Nikida. Oina Beinen is, that's Yom HaChodesh. Yom HaChodesh you have 2. Vesta Fluga, you can also have 2 only when it's a long one. Oina Beinen is, there's no such a thing as having 2. The Alter Rebbe himself does hold such a thing as 2. That means, the same moshel, if you have Ches, Shvat, Ches Taivas, you saw a period. Then you saw Chufayt Taivas again. So the Alter Rebbe is going to hold that you have to wait, make a cheshbon of 30 days from Ches and 30 days from Chufay. So you can have 2 oire minus. Tzemach Tzedek denkt zich of them. In basic today's day, we all go to the Korok to Tzemach Tzedek, not with the Alter Rebbe. And all the poiskim passing like this. There's not even nobody who goes with the Alter Rebbe. The Alter Rebbe is not his shitta for Nater Zuv. He passes like one shitta. So this is one thing which is much easier by us. There's no 2 things of oire minus. The last Riyah, you make a cheshm of 30 days, and that's about it. So again, to sum up, I see we won't be able to go the Hamshich, we'll have to push it, go next week, the rest of it. But let's sum up what we had till for today in short. First thing we said is basically, don't be machman on shalas. That's the first thing. Ask, go to the Rav, ask what you have to ask, and don't be ashamed. Number 2, bring the shalas to the Rav. And another thing which I want to mention, if you have to bring a panty, bring it. And do not cut the panties and bring a small piece of panty and kill every week another panty. You bring it, usually most Rabbonim trays, they have a box. You put it in the box. Once she gives you the answer on a WhatsApp or on a text, if the Rav has WhatsApp or text, he tells you, I put it out in the box, come pick it up, and it's a Yiddish geld. That's number 2. Number 3 is you have argushas, then you have to make a bedika. When you have a argosh, you have to make a bedika. Another thing which we mentioned, that you have to know in dry blood, not dry blood, a tiny drop, everything makes you a nida, and you are a nida if it's bargosh the raisa, if it's not bargosh, it's a drabonan, and it's no different in the raisa of the drabonan. Let's have it clear. By us in Zamanishkan Tzedoikim, by us there's no such a thing. It's the same thing. You make a bracha when you go on tefillah. It's the same thing. So that's the first thing we had. Second thing we had is, if you feel something you feel and you weren't machzik that you see things which is maras tahoiras, make sure to make a bedika, and hopefully you're going to find something which is a maratur, then it will be fine. If it's not a maratur, then you have to discuss mit darov. Third thing is, we mentioned, let me just sum it up. Every time when you see, you have three things to be choishish. Yom HaChodesh, the day of the lunar day, the chodesh day. Second will be the afluga, how many times, how many oinas you went from last time you got clean. That means from hefsek tahara till you saw the next year. You write down the oinas. And also you write down the day which you saw it, the day we saw it, the oina which you saw it, and the time which we saw it, because we're going to have the guys on what we need to do, which is going to come next week, what we need to do, b'shazem is geboidik. And the third thing is oina bainis. You have to know a cheshm oina bainis, from when you saw, you have to go 30 days. And oina bainis is azoivi aves kaviyah, like Levi mentioned before. Oina bainis has to din like aves kaviyah. There's a lot of chimras which will be in the gaya, like ababadikas. Oina bainis is the most chumar we can do. So you have a Yom HaChodesh, Vesta Fluga, and oina bainis. Then there's other things, Vesta Dilig, Vesta Shviyah, Vesta Sirig. I'm going to mention it Mi'et Hashem briefly the upcoming week, and then we're going to go in a little bit of what you need to do once it comes to Yom HaChodesh, the halachas of the Yom HaChodesh, and then we're going to go into anything ksomim, as I mentioned before. If a lady sees and it's not borer, it comes megifoy, so that's called a kesem. There's a lot of halachas which is negaya from which kesem, which this basically we're going to talk next week. And again, let me make it clear. I am giving you all the halachas what you shaykh, but it's nish kedai to paskin in itself. And another thing, a lot of things which, when you come to a rov, he sees a lot of other things, other tzarifim. Not everything, you're going to hear a lot of times a shir, and you're going to see such a chimra, such a... It's a nish michrech, as when you hear a shir, you hear the oifen kluli. A lot of times, and not a lot of times, a lot of times, when you come to the rov, and you give all the details, is mematzar of andere inyonim. So there's a lot of lenient way how to deal with these things. So therefore, don't pass on yourself. Don't be ashamed to call. Be on the nerves on that rov, whoever you picked, and don't be afraid to ask. Even when he throws you out the door, you know what to do. The Gemara says you go on the skylight and you knock on the door, and you know. So, Mi'et Hashem, next week we'll be able to be mamshech further.